Life is tough these days. It seems like it gets crazier by the minute, and you need a positive interruption from all that craziness. Welcome to the Midday Manna, emanating from Atlanta, Georgia, and broadcasting to the world. Giving you hope and help getting those dreams out of your heart and into your hands. If it's faith, family, and finance, and everything in between, we're talking about it. Let's do this. This is the Midday Manna.
Please welcome
Dr. Charles Jerome Francis.
Hey, happy Friday. I'm Dr. Charles Jerome Francis II, and welcome to Midday Manna. Before we get started today, I am so excited to announce that I have a new book that's out today. And so right before we get started, let's check out this trailer, and I'll be right back.
You worry too much. You take negative feedback very personally. You are your biggest critic. You must drag yourself out of the bed every morning and often wake up feeling sad for no obvious reason. You worry about the worst that could happen in any situation. Do any of these statements or dispositions sound familiar? If they do, there's a chance that you're experiencing some degree of anxiety and or depression. Dr. Charles Jerome Francis II has the answer for you in his new book, Be Anxious for Nothing. Available now where all digital books are sold. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I hope you enjoyed that. A little fun there with Kamala Harris, and it's not a dig to tell you how to vote or where to vote. It's up to you to do what you believe is the right thing to do. I would never do that with you, but I hope that you all will go and buy the book. The link to buy that book is right down here, right here in this chat, and I'm sure somebody will put it in there over and over again for you. But please go and get it. What I'm so excited about this book, the reason rather why I'm so excited about this book is because it's not just another book that's stating all the opinions that I have, but I went through a very tumultuous time for the last 5 years, and got a therapist, and then in working with that therapist, I started journaling the things that I had to come through and how I came through them. And so one of those things was depression, oppression, stress, anxiety, major anxiety. And so as I went through those stages to move to my next dimension concerning those things, I decided to journal it. And you are getting in this book the results of that journaling and the results of me working through those things. I think it's important that we just don't take a spiritual approach to things, but that we take a sometimes a psychological approach to them, that we understand that some things need for us to sit down and really work through them. And so there's a logical approach in this book. This is not necessarily a book that's talking about all of these spiritual concepts. I'm not throwing out a whole bunch of scriptures at you, any of that kind of stuff. It is really a workbook for you to go through and really work through some of your trauma, work through the reasons why you have stress and anxiety. I think that's very, very important. I think it's important that we take a moment, not just to, pardon me, the weather's changing here, so I'm dealing with a little cold here, but not just to worry about how we worship, not just to speak in tongues or sing and dance, but actually sit down and do the work of why we feel the way that we feel. Do you not know that you can go to church and feel wonderful, but when you get back home, those demons that you left at home are still yet waiting for you? And so you have to work through a lot of those things and really deal with the stuff that's coming against you. This book will help you do that. So right there is the link. The book is $7. After this weekend, after Sunday, the price will go up. So make sure you get it now. It's going to be a blessing to you. Gift it to somebody else. It will be a real blessing. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this real quick 15-minute wrap up. I now have about 10 minutes. So I want to go ahead and get into that. By the way, if you want to learn more and more about our ministry, you can go and check out our website, www.charlesjeromeministries.com. Again, that's www.charlesjeromeministries.com. Also, be sure to hit that like button down there because it helps us out with this algorithm. So make sure you hit that like button and be sure to comment with us. I would love to have your comments and love. All right. My whole life, as you can see, I'm a little chunky right now. I've been eating a little bit. And how many times have we said we're going to start our diet every tomorrow? Every tomorrow, we're going to start a diet every tomorrow. Every tomorrow, we're going to, do better about our eating. We're going to do better about our weight. We're going to do all these different things. And so I've had times where I was thin. I had times when I was, I call it Luther syndrome. I'd have had times when I was thin. I'd have had times when I was big. I'd have had times when I was bigger than that. I've gone through all different kind of changes when it comes to my weight. But the greatest weight loss that I have ever had is when I lost the weight of other people's opinions about me. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's about to get emotional. The biggest weight loss I had is when I lost other people's opinions about me. I was a person that was living in the opinions of others, worried about how people saw me, what people thought about me, because I felt like that's all I had going for me. I had to make sure that I kept a reputation, that I kept body this and that and this, that, and the other. You know how it goes. You got to make sure that you look the part. You got to make sure that you speak the part. You have to make sure that you're carrying yourself in a certain way so that people's opinions of you will be proper. What I found out is people will have an opinion of you whether or not you do good or whether or not you do bad. And I had to figure out that my life wasn't predicated upon their opinions. Here's the deeper thing. I had to learn how to fall in love with myself. I had to learn how to fall in love with myself. A lot of times we're so busy because of trauma. We're so busy pouring out love on so many other people that we forget to love ourselves. And so our disappointment becomes when people do not respond the way we would like them to respond, or they don't respond according to the things that we're giving out to them. But the truth of the matter is most times they don't respond because it doesn't need to be given to them. You need to give it to yourself. And so I had spent time giving everything I had to everybody. I gave it to my students. I gave it to my family. I gave it to my friends. I gave it to people who didn't even deserve it. I gave it to people who, random people, whoever needed whatever. I was there to be there for them and give it to them while neglecting myself the whole entire time. Why are you going this way, Apostle? Because many of us right now are in this space where we are giving everything we got to everybody else except ourselves. And when you're giving everything you got to everybody else except yourself, you are lacking. And when you are lacking, it will cause you to be depressed, oppressed, stressed out, and full of anxiety. The anxiety will come because you're always trying to figure out if people will understand what you mean or understand you. You always want people to see you in the best light. And so I had to fall in love with myself, and I had to realize that the energy that I was giving everybody else, I needed to pour that out on me. I needed to pour that out on me. And so I started waking up in the morning when I did prayer, and after I did prayer, worrying about Charles. How does Charles feel today? What's going to make Charles happy today? How does Charles feel? Do I want to wear this or do I not want to wear this? Do I care about if what somebody thinks about what I'm wearing today? No, I had to worry about whether or not I liked me, whether or not I was okay with me. A part of that was evolving to the place where I did not allow. How about this? I didn't want to get to the place where I felt like I was always defending myself. I hope everybody's catching this. Let me say that again. I had to evolve to the place where I was not always defending myself. When I fell in love with me, I had to get to the place where I was not always defending myself or feeling like I had to defend myself. A lot of times I was wondering how I would say to the therapist, well, how do I respond when people ask me this? Or how do I respond when people ask me that? And I remember her saying to me, you don't have a response. I want to encourage somebody today. Stop worrying about having a response to people about the choices that you're making concerning you. One more time. Stop worrying about how you're going to respond to the world about the choices you're making concerning you. We have spent so much time trying to live our life on the stage. My whole life I've been preaching. My whole life I've been singing. My whole life I've been performing. My whole life I've been doing all of these things. And so there's a certain persona that you must, at least that I thought, or most people think, that you should have when you are a public person. Okay? And the truth of the matter is, you still got to love you and be in touch with you, because these people will fail you. They watch you for the moment, but they will fail you when it comes to you personally. And so I had to get to the point where I was okay with the fact that I didn't have to defend myself anymore. If I wanted to wear something, I could wear it. If I wanted my hair a certain color, I could do it. If I wanted a nose piercing, I could have it. And I didn't have to explain to people why I did it. The truth of the matter is, I did it because I wanted to. And I can do what I want to do. Yeah. You can do and you can be who you want to be. Why? Because my relationship with God is a personal one and not a blanketed one. And I don't have to explain based upon your list of rules how I choose to live. I can do that because God is in love with me. And because he's in love with me, I'm in love with myself. Uh-oh. It's getting deep and I only got a couple of minutes. But if you want to hear the conclusion of the whole matter, join me Sunday at 9 a.m. because I'm telling you, I'm going to go in. Because this is where this whole depression, oppression, stress, frustration, this is where it all stems from. And the truth of the matter is, most people that try to oppress you with their opinions are people who are oppressed themselves. They have been oppressed themselves by how they feel about themselves. And so they share that or spew that with everybody else in a place of judgment. I had to learn to release myself from the opinions of others or to divorce myself from the opinions of others. I had to get comfortable with the fact that I may be misunderstood. What apostle you know got earrings? What apostle you know got a nose ring? Is that an S curl or a Jerry curl in his head? I had to be okay. At first, I would always be explaining, no, this is my natural hair, this is my blah, 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 blah. No, I don't have to explain it. Because I got to a point where it wasn't that I just didn't care. I got to a place where I put my care in the right place. And the care had to be about me and not about their opinions of me. I hope this is ministering to somebody in this midday moment. Because you've been living your life for others. And you got to start living your life for you. Wouldn't it be a shame? I used to say this all the time. It'd be a shame to climb the ladder of success only to find out that it's leaning against the wrong building. One more time. It would be a shame to climb the ladder of success only to find out that it's leaning against the wrong building. Well, what do you mean, Apostle? Sometimes we're trying to build ourselves up about a certain thing, and we find out we got the wrong motive, or we find out we got the wrong understanding of it. We're not building ourselves up to become so that other people are excited or happy. We're building ourselves up to become because us and God got something going on. Because you have a relationship with the master, with the divine. And because you have that relationship, he's pleased. And in order for him to be pleased, when he's pleased, it's you that's being pleased. Or how can I put that better? When you are pleased, he is pleased. I remember talking to my grandmother one day, and I was saying to her, Grandma, I just want you to be proud of me. She helped raise me. Her and my mom and my aunties, they raised me. Okay. And I was, Grandma, I just want you to be proud of me. I just want you to be proud of me. One day she said, I'm proud of you when you're proud of yourself. The best thing you can do is be your best. And that makes me proud. Well, the best thing we can do is be our best. And that makes God proud. The best thing we can do is live in our truth, and that makes God proud. The best thing we can be is to live it out the way God created us to be and not be ashamed of who we are, even if other people have an issue with it. Most times people's issue with you is that they can't be who you're being, that they don't have enough guts to be themselves, and that you do. So you got to get to the point where you love yourself. Lastly, you got to get over the fact that some people are committed to misunderstanding you. I've had so many judgments of me upon over my whole entire life. And so sometimes I would feel so bad, I try to fix certain things so that people would be okay, especially in Christendom, especially being a preacher, especially being a bishop. You had to present a certain way. So there would be things that I would fix because I wanted to present a certain way. And even when I presented the way they wanted me to present, they still had an issue. You know why they had an issue? Because some people were committed to misunderstanding me. Some people were just, no matter what I did, they would find an issue with it. And the root of that, if we be honest, is most times jealousy. Oh yeah, I'm coming for it today. Yep, I'm coming for it today. Most times the root of that is jealousy. They don't have a problem with your product. They just have a problem that they didn't come up with the product. They have a problem that they didn't have a hand in making the product. When the product is amazing and they can't live up to that standard, they dog the standard. But you have to be okay with the fact that there will be some people who are committed to misunderstanding you because they can't roll with what you're doing. You're uniquely made. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. And the quicker you fall in love with yourself, the happier you're going to be. And that will decrease depression. It will decrease stress, and it will decrease anxiety. Most of your anxiety is because you're wondering or worried about how others see you. So today I declare that you see yourself in the best light. I declare that you get in a mirror and start talking to yourself. I declare that whatever you don't like about yourself, because you don't like it, not because others don't like it, but because you don't like it, that you work on those things until you're satisfied and that you live the best life ever that you can live. I hope I've said something today that has blessed you. If you want to sew with us, you know what to do. We'll put this link down in the chat. All right. The link should be there. You can sew with us that way, or you can use, those of you who are using different ways that you've normally used for a long time, you can use those ways. Or if you want to do something else, you can go ahead and hit me in that inbox and we'll get it done. I love you. I want you to have the most amazing day possible. Go get that book. Again, go get that book. The trailer's going to play one more time at the end here. Go get that book, okay? It's going to bless you. It's going to help you. And I want to see you Sunday at 9 a.m. for the conclusion of the whole matter. I love you. Have an amazing day is my prayer. In the wonderful, matchless name of Jesus. Peace.
You worry too much. You take negative feedback very personally. You are your biggest critic. You must drag yourself out of the bed every morning and often wake up feeling sad for no obvious reason. You worry about the worst that could happen in any situation. Do any of these statements or dispositions sound familiar? If they do, there's a chance that you're experiencing some degree of anxiety and or depression. Dr. Charles Jerome Francis II has the answer for you in his new book, Be Anxious for Nothing. Available now where all digital books are sold. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.